and that right hand is followed, there is going to be a problem tonight.
Smokin' Joe, Philadelphia's finest in the heavyweight division. There's no one quite like Smokin' Joe. They're coming up against the artist from...
This bout is scheduled for 8 rounds of boxing. Fighting out of the red corner, the Olympic gold medalist from Beaufort, South Carolina, the Hall of Famer from the golden era of heavyweight, a heavyweight champion of the world, Smokin' Joe Frazier. Fighting out of the blue corner from the United States of America, wearing the black trunks with red trim, the artist.
These two have certainly talked the talk. Now they've got to walk the walk.
Words are cheap. It's the action that says it all.
Capacity crowd here for this one. We've been waiting a long time for this matchup. Here we go. Frazier's been in so many hellacious battles over the years. The trilogy with Muhammad Ali, his fights against George Foreman, a true legend. And this is a you hit me hard, I'll hit you hard type of fight. Neither one of these fighters want to see the judges' scorecards. When are we going to see a jab from these two? This fighter has been described as a swarmer, that fighter who attempts to overwhelm their opponent by applying constant pressure.
You are fighting the swarmer. Be smart, be sharp, concentrate, but you've got to be confident. Do not dance his dance, because that swarmer, once you do that, you're giving a man a chance that shouldn't have one.
We're at the halfway point, and both of these fighters know the round is still up for grabs.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I got to respect both of them more than happy.
Looks like he's going to move around the ring a little bit more, try some stick and move. That counter punch caught him clean. Just when you think they're going to have a lull in the action, we get it heated back up. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Well, we know they've got the advantage so far, but how does this match get turned? Here we go, round two. Who's going to land the first big shot? Well, Johnny, can he keep the momentum going after that last huge round for him?
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing, because you've won that hands down.
And that hook misses. Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. A counter fighter relies a lot on their instincts and reaction time. You've got to get in there quick to punch your opponent before he gets his fist back to block.
To beat a counter puncher, you've got to take them out of their pace. Do not wait for them, because if you wait, they'll pepper and pop you all night long. Rush them.
You gotta like what you're seeing as we reach the halfway point of this round.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. Just like a match made in heaven.
That counter shot lands. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. Not Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Every time they throw a shot, they get countered. Every time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. Off the charts action from both of these fighters. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. I promise you, all three judges here are going to give that round to you-know-who.
As long as they don't get complained.
Here we go in round 3. Who's going to land the first big shot? Last round, complete domination. Let's see what we have in store for us here.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
You don't want to trade shots. Incredible firepower from both of these heavyweights. The straight right just misses. These two are the perfect dance partners.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Both want the knockout. It's knockout or bust for both of these fighters. They block the jab. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Well, there was no doubt about who won that round.
Dominance, without a doubt, made it look so.
Here we go to the 4th round. They've got all the momentum on their side after that last round. Let's see what they do here.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
So much firepower here. Perfect counter shot. Beautiful counter punch. You'd like to see someone use a jab here to establish a boxing presence, but no, they just want to fight. Punch, counter punch. What a round so far as we've reached the halfway point.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. Just like a match made in heaven.
Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Catch and shoot. And he scores with the counter. Solid punch. Can't land that jab. Nice counter. You wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of a shot from that heavyweight. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Talk about a one-sided 3 minutes. We just saw it.
You can't leave it up to the judges. It's up to you.
And there's the bell for round 5. That last round was huge for him, Johnny. How does he keep the momentum going?
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Those counter punches have to hurt. When you're a power puncher, you're not as concerned with how many punches you throw. It's about how many you land and how hard they are.
Sometimes when you get in there with someone that's so powerful, you've got to think him. You've just got to be smarter than him. You've got to be like a little Fagin and pickpocket him.
Good counter punching. Swing and a miss with that uppercut. Good counter punch. Big shots from both these fighters. Got to be careful, though.
Perfectly matched. Skill for skill. Tap for tap. Now, this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them. More than happy.
Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. He threw a punch and just got countered. Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. Stiff overhand left. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Well done with that counter shot. After what we saw in that last round, it's pretty obvious who has the advantage here.
I seriously hope the judges kept their...
On to the 6th round. Coming off that fantastic last round, let's see if he can keep his momentum going.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
These are heavyweights, but I tell you what, that hand speed and footwork, they look like middleweights.
Now you've got two fighters that are absolutely shattered. What gets you through? Willpower. Calm, because if you panic, you get desperate. If you get desperate, you make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you get knocked out.
How about that time counter shot? Do you believe what we're seeing?
So close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Nice counter shot. A straight right just misses. There's a counter shot. Beautiful counter shot. Walk away from each other and then run right back into trouble. Incredible work rate. They exchange. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Was almost a 10-8 round. Complete dominance.
As long as they don't get complacent, you think this is...
And there's the bell for round 7. This fight has been very one-sided. What are we going to have in this round?
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Well, Johnny, has anything surprised you here as we enter the final frames of this bout?
How do you deal with an aggressive fighter? What you do is you fight fire with fire. You either give it them back because that's where they're comfortable, or you play calm, play cool.
Not sure if I'd be taunting right now. Well, if their intention is to anger the opponent, I think it's going to work. Halfway through the round, I'm not sure who's winning it.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. She's like a match made in heaven.
This fighter is not interested in throwing one shot at a time. They throw combinations and they throw them non-stop.
What you've got to do, Toddy, is anticipation. You've got to wait. You just got to throw caution to the wind and just hope. You're never going to know where the shots are coming from. You just got to put in a guess.
Miss with that jab. A perfect counter lands. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. I'm worried about these two fighters gassing out as this fight goes on.
There's a lot on the line here.
This is fight, dear. Come on, you're going back into this. You're better than this.
And we enter the 8th round. That 1 minute break surely wasn't enough for him to completely recover.
Exerted a lot of energy in the fight so far. Now they're shattered. This is what you call championship rounds. If you have done the work, slept right, ate right, prepped right, I'm expecting you to get through this. If not, if you've cheated, the ring can be the loneliest place in the world.
He blocks the right uppercut. Nice counter shot. We wanted action, and they are delivering. You can't make a mistake at the heavyweight level and not expect to be punished for it. Nice counter punch right up the middle. Whoa, and you saw the balance go. The knees, the foundation, rocked. How is this fight still continuing?
It's been a tough round so far. It's been a tough round. What did they do? What did they tell him when he goes back to the corner? How are they going to get through this?
Nice counter punch. The straight right just misses. Is he going to punch himself out, though? This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. The judges have spoken a unanimous decision victory.
Unanimous. You know what? Smarts that is. A total change of styles to make sure they got it. At every round in the bag, there was no argument, no discussion, no mistake. It was so obvious.
It is Riyadh season in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and we're about to see another big-time fight here at Kingdom Arena. Alongside me, Johnny Nelson.
Looking forward to this one, Todd.
Time for our tale of the tape. Joe Louis, he's 6'2" tall, 181 pounds. The Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. Up against them, the artist from the United States of America.
Look at the weight. How much weight are you going to give away in a fight?
And now for the official introductions. We turn it over to the world-renowned Jimmy Lennon Jr.
This bout is scheduled for 8 rounds of boxing. In the red corner, an iconic longtime world champion who defended his title for a record of 12 years, introducing a heavyweight champ.
A lot of trash talk between these two fighters. Now it's time to put up or shut up.
What a venue, what a fight, what action.
What a great venue. And we're expecting an all-action slugfest. Not so rigid anymore with the stance. Big shots from both of these fighters. Got to be careful, though. Nice counter. If you're a counter puncher, then basically you do the counter attack. You let them get their punch off first, and then you answer in kind.
If you're fighting a counter puncher, you've got to dummy a shot. Make them react from that, then react then. I know it's hard to think that way, but counter punchers, they're watching you every move, that every twitch.
A lot of effort being exerted here. Well done with that counter shot. Beautiful counter punch. Try to let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. Neither one of these fighters want to see the judges' scorecards. They exchange punches. And just as quickly as it slows down, it heats back up. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Well, he is in big trouble here. He may have been saved by the bell. Here we go. It's round 2. Off their stools and ready to go. Let's hope this round is more competitive.
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on you. And that's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until your senses have come back.
A counter fighter relies a lot on their instincts and reaction time. You've got to get in there quick to punch your opponent before he gets his fist back to block.
Counter punches, my friend.
Oh my goodness, Johnny! Joe Louis in trouble. And it appears they're out of trouble, at least for now. But that just goes to show you one clean punch changes everything.
Got caught sleeping on the job. What do? You step back, steady yourself, recompose yourself, then boom, back into it. But do not make those mistakes. This is the wrong place to fall asleep.
Good fight so far. Both of these fighters have had their moments.
Skill for skill, tap for tap, just like a match made in heaven.
Throws the uppercut but misses. Back and forth they go. Every time they throw a shot, they get countered. He's putting the pedal to the metal, but has to be careful. careful that he doesn't run out of gas. He parries away the left uppercut. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. And a round that seemed like eternity. On to the third. After that last round, something has got to change.
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
A perfect counter shot. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. This fight has a real good flow to it. Defense is not an option for these two. Oh, what a punch. Real good back and forth between these two fighters.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
And he scores with the counter. He blocks the hook. They are not going to let this one go to the judges. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. And a round that seemed like an eternity. Back at it in round 4. Not the start that they wanted, but let's see what they can do in this round.
This is one of those situations. You've just been hurt. You've got to get out there again. Be smart. Be sharp. Don't be afraid. Don't get suckered in. Make him fight your fight. Hold him. Tie him up just until your head clears again and your legs come back again. Because if you don't, he's going to pop you off.
But I tell you what, that hand speed and footwork, they look like middleweights.
Midway through the fight, if you are tired, this can be the loneliest place in the world. If you cheated, now we're going to find out.
Nice work to block that left uppercut. Perfect counter lands. Halfway through the round, and there's not a lot separating these two.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
That jab misses. This is the heavyweight division. One punch could end this fight.
I've seen certain fighters that can depend on just their power alone. Forget tactics. They know the second they touch you, it's done. That's where the confidence comes from.
What a blow to the head there. Let's see it again on instant replay.
I've got to see that again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, he's got Bambi left. Time for the 5th round. It's been a nightmare so far. What can they do to turn this around?
2 knockdowns in that last round. There'll be sheer panic in that corner. What do? Do they throw the towel in? Do they let him come back out again? Because they know their fighter is like a lamb to the slaughter.
That counter shot lands. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. What heart, what desire, but at what cost? What do you think of what we've seen so far from these two boxers, Johnny?
Having so much speed, what happens to your opponent is you get cut to ribbons, and that's where the referee has to jump in and stop the fight. And you know this is going to happen, so you rush your work. You think, I've got to get him inside close round.
Tried to score with that hook, but missed. You can tell he's stronger, but he's not faster. Good job stopping that uppercut. Jab misses. One punch could change anything when these two step in the ring. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. He is down big time on the scores. And there's the bell for round 6. Well, they got battered last round. How do they turn their fortunes around?
Now he knows he's been hurt. He's going to come out and put the pressure on. He's going to throw it.
And the artist has been dropped. A big headshot, and he goes down. We have got to see that again in slow motion.
Even I've got to see that again. Where did that come from?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give me your ball.
They got knocked down, but didn't stay down. Once again, showing you how much grit and courage this fighter has.
Oh, he can smell blood. Look at that. He's put him down once. He knows what shot works and where to land it. Then try and do it again. He's just not got to get trigger happy.
Power is obviously the great equalizer in boxing, but when you know your opponent is relying on that so heavily, how do you deal with it?
It's the one who draws first blood, Todd. That's what you've got to look at. If you hit and you know you're in there with a banger, you've got to be on it, but you've got to be confident.
Halfway through the round, and they're struggling a little bit.
It's that forever hope. Remember the fight at Evander Holyfield? He could be behind on points until the last 10 seconds, but he's fighting like he's going to put it back. That's the kind of hope we need to see.
Nope, that jab not going to score. How about that technique on that headshot? Let's see it again and appreciate it more.
Shot for...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are you okay?
Is there any way back into this fight after the beating he has taken so far?
There's always a way back.
Round 7, here we go. Last round was a disaster. What can they do here to turn this around?
2 knockdowns and you're coming back from that. That's near on impossible because your head must be all over the place. Your legs will feel like jelly. What can they tell you in the corner? All they can do is wake you up. They can't even go into game plan.
Wow, that seemed to be the punch he was looking for. Let's watch it again.
A shot from the gods took him out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Will you continue?
Showing a lot of heart to beat the count there.
Well, now it's about getting back to the corner, freshen up, get new instructions given to you, and they've got to G you up. They've got to tell you what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right.
They've got to pick things up halfway through the round here.
There's a lot of work to do, and you know what? It's hard to pull back. Don't get into the habit of losing. Don't get into the habit of being second place. You've got to change the habit. You've got to change something, because otherwise, why should it change?
The jab doesn't quite connect. And he just misses with that jab. You'd like to see more jabs. Final 10 seconds here, and the corner is going to have their work cut out for them. That'll be a 10-8 round for sure with the knockdown.
I love the response, though. Got back.
And they're back at it again here in round 8. His eyes look pretty clear here, Johnny. How do you think he's going to do after being knocked down in the last round?
That knockdown we just saw was a heavy knockdown. I'd be very, very surprised if he'll come out fresh as a daisy. That's not going to happen. He's got to hustle now. He's got to bluff him.
This fighter's certainly not going to outthrow their opponent by any means, but they will, when they hit, be a lot harder.
They know the second they touch you, it's done. They're that powerful.
He misses with that jab. He threw a punch and just got countered. The straight right just misses. Can they figure out the combination to this safe?
Skill for skill, tap for tap. She's like a match made in heaven.
They call it the chin. How strong is your chin? Do you have a glass chin? These are things that can affect the fight.
Because you've got a good chin doesn't mean you've got leather skin. It means you can still get caught. So you've got to go for those point areas over the eyebrow, the cheekbone. You've just got to try and cut them, skim them, go for speed.
Both men step back for just a moment. Nice counter shot. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Well, it's go back to the drawing board time, a unanimous decision victory.
This is the last thing we expected. What a fight. What a style. What a...